Hi again, this is Keisha from Memorizing the Moments. This is going to be part 2 of my spines for around the world. I already did one video showing most of the main spines from our around the world studies. These are kind of the secondary spines, less referencey, except for this first one. This one I got since I made the last video, and probably should have been in the last video, but this one is the Big Picture Book of Planet Earth. And then this one has kind of continents and different things in the continents. I like that it kind of had different things than some of the other books I showed. So anyway, I thought I'd show the inside of this one, and then I'm going to show you the insides of several of the other supplemental kind of spine books that we're going to have all the time. To be considered a spine, I wanted a book that had specific places kind of told rather than just jumping around. So this one you can easily go to, and see exactly what country they're from. So this is one of the cookbooks I have. We're going to do some of these. We're going to do some from, Pinterest probably, kind of depending on what looks yummy. But we're going to try to do one recipe at least from each country. So that was one of the cookbooks. And then this is the other cookbook we're going to look at, What's on Your Plate, Exploring the World Through Food. This one kind of has simpler recipes, so we might do this with something else. These are less kind of big meals, but that does lend itself really well to children and picky eaters to have something small kind of aside. So those are our two cookbooks that we're going to look at. And then the next two books, I believe, are listed in some of the Torchlight curriculum, but there is What a Wonderful Phrase, and then this one looks at phrases kind of from around the world, and then they tell you what the phrase means and kind of where it came from, and it tells you that this one's from French, this one's French also, this one's Brazilian Portuguese. So I went through all these books, and then like on my page for each country, I put down the page number that we're going to read from these books. This one is What a Wonderful Word, so same kind of deal, but this is a Finnish word, or the next one's a Hindi word, and it tells you about the Indian culture. So we're going to pull those out kind of as our spines every week. This one only has a few places in it, but it does specifically kind of say where they are. Like this is Greenland, and then this is a Lift the Flap book, and my son loves Lift the Flap books. So this is a book we actually already had, a place called Home. It's a Lonely Planet Kids. We have a ton of these Lonely Planet Kids books, and we like them. And then they show you different places. So this one's in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. This one tells you about these huts in Kenya. So we'll have that one. This book is kind of similar. So this is how we do it. It tells you specifically about some kids in different places of the world. So there's Peru, Russia, Japan, Iran, Uganda, Italy, and India, where they live, what they eat for breakfast, kind of what it follows those kids and what they do. So we will probably pull this book out when we study each of those countries and kind of go through to see. This is another one that if you lived here, Houses of the World, and it has some specific types of houses, and it tells you this one's in China, where the different places are. So we'll pull that one out. Then this one is one we happen to have. I didn't buy it, and I don't know that I would necessarily buy it for this year, but since we had it, we're going to use it. But this looks inside cities. So it looks like inside Sydney, London, New York, Venice, Shanghai, Istanbul, Paris, and then others. So this is another Lift the Flap book that tells you about each of these places. So we will, we'll do London when we study England. This one is one of our newer books, A World of Gratitude, and I was kind of torn whether to put this in this video or the supplemental video, because it kind of does both general things and different continents. So it tells you for each continent, it says how to say thank you in North America, South America, whatever. It tells you a bunch of languages, and it tells you some of the things from those particular continents, but then it also has some that are just kind of general gratitude, facts, and customs, and then these are a little bit more random. These are not specific to the continent it was just on. So we'll probably pull this out multiple times throughout the year if we have a lighter week. This one my son had already and really likes. It's Around the World. It's a Seek and Find book. But then it's got like, so this one's Cairo, and then it gives you specific things you're supposed to look for, kind of like a Where's Waldo, but then it tells you about them. So I have these also kind of written down. When we hit, you know, the countries, we will pull out this book and find those things. Again, this is an activity book we have, this Lonely Planet Kids, Adventures Around the Globe. And this one, it's got different activities for different countries. It's got some facts. It's got, these are sticker pages. The stickers are in the back. There's some coloring pages. Some activities I think my son will like better than others, so we might not do them all. We're just going to kind of pull it out as we hit each country that's in here. So South America kind of did as a whole, but then it's got, you know, Brazil, Amazon. Those are kind of some of those. And then very similarly, I have this Around the World Mazes book, where it's got just mazes that are from different places in the world. Some places it has quite a bit, like I think China, there's several of them. And then Brazil will probably have several of them. But here's Hawaii, Barcelona, the Arctic. So we will do these. So anyway, those are our, I call them spines because they have specific countries they're associated with that we're going to do for our Around the World studies. And then in my next video, I will do some of the more supplemental ones that I'll just pull out that don't have a specific country that they go with.